Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha the Messiah, his Son. Hear, O Yasharal. Yahuwah, our mighty one, is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of Yahuwah. And we're starting from Deuteronomy chapter 21. I have a question for you. Most people want to go to either, from what in the church they thought that they were going to heaven, but the Bible says that you shall inherit the kingdom of heaven, those who have overcome. This is why we're dealing with the commandments. Do you really want to go into the kingdom? Do you really want all of these promises? Do you want eternal life? As you have seen so far, all of these things are attached to an action. The action is you have to keep all of these laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Now that we know that, what about the judgments? The judgments are mostly death. Now, how do you come to a mother and you tell her because her son is a glutton, he's a wine bibber, he's a rebel, he doesn't follow any instructions that his parents have given unto him. The Father says, when you have a child in the kingdom who functions in that manner, that the father and the mother have to come before the priests and the elders, and once they give judgment, render judgment upon your son, that he has to be what? Stoned to death. How many mothers do you know that are going to carry out this judgment? And all of the ladies out there, I want you to think about it also. There will not be any of this disobedience in the kingdom. If you don't carry out the judgment that the priest, the Levite, and the judge renders, then you are to get the penalty. So make up your mind. In the kingdom, it's Yahuwah, Yahuwah's ways, or no ways. You cannot come with your own laws, your own statutes, your own commandments. All you have to do is take a look at where we and our ancestors are today, because they did not carry these things out. If you would have stoned these disobedient children, if you would have stoned these prophets, if you would have stoned all of these people who came to you secretly and wanted you to go off and serve another god, most likely you wouldn't be in the lands of your captivity today. Let's begin. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verses 1 to 5. Verse 1. If anyone be found slain in the land, which Yahuwah thy mighty one giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who have slain him. Verse 2. Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. Verse 3. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take an heifer, which have not been wrought with, and which have not drawn in the yoke. So this heifer that you have to take is the one that is assigned for Yahuwah. You know, You can't assign the heifer, the bull, the goat, the sheep, anything that you're going to sacrifice unto the mighty one. He cannot do any work. You know that, right? That's why it says, which have not drawn in the yoke. So when they measured, they wanted to see which city was the closest to the slain man. Verse 4. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. This is for atonement. Verse 5. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them, Yahuwah thy mighty one, have chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of Yahuwah. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. The Levites are powerful. If they say whatever sentence that they come up with, you have to follow it, because they're speaking in the name of Yahuwah. They're taking their judgments from the law. You have to abide by whatever sentence that they give. Verse 6. And the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. So after the heifer's head has been chopped off, blood is spread upon the earth, the elders symbolically will wash their hands, and says, verse 7, and they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. They sworn before Yahuwah. Verse 8, be merciful, O Yahuwah, unto thy people Yasharal, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy people Yasharal's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. This is how you make atonement for a slain body, that no one knows who killed him. Verse 9, so shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah. Verse 10, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahuwah thy mighty one hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, as you see, you will have slaves. Verse 11, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldst have her to thy wife, what do? Verse 12, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. What else must she do? Verse 13, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail, mourn her father and her mother a full month. And after that, thou shalt go into her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. So once you've desired this woman, she has to go through a ritual. When she goes home to your house, she shaves her head, cuts off her nails, and puts the raiment of her captivity off of her. She has to have a fresh start. Everything that was from the past must start anew. She has to remain in your house. Then she mourns her father and her mother for a full month, 30 days. And after that, then you can go into her. Check this out. You didn't have a marriage ceremony, did you? Did it say anything about that here? No. Your marriage ceremony is to go into her. Once you have gone into a woman, she has become your wife and you have become her husband. That's if she is a virgin. Verse 14. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. You know, the word humble means that you've taken away her virginity. You can put her away if you don't like her for whatever reason it be. You just can't make merchandise out of her because you've already taken away her virginity. So you have to let her go wherever she wants, free of charge. It didn't say to give her any money or anything. It just tells you this, that you can't sell her. You let her go wherever she wills because you have taken away her virginity. Verse 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, verse 16, then it shall be, when he maketh his son to inherit that which he have, the firstborn son gets a double portion, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. Verse 17, but he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is he. So now you understand what Sarah did. This is why she sent the bondwoman, the Egyptian woman, Hagar. She sent her away with Ishmael because she understands the right of the firstborn. So she had to send them away. This is why she petitioned Abraham, you have to get him out of here. There's going to be conflict. Well, there's still conflict between these brothers today. Do you know that? The Arabs, the Islam, the Muslims, the ones who come from Ishmael, the ones who come from Esau or Edom, these are your brothers and sisters. Don't get it twisted. Don't let these Europeans mess your head up. They're of the bloodline. The Europeans are not. Verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. Verse 19. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. See, the mother and the father have to do this. 2 witnesses you need. Verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this is our son. He is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Verse 21. What do we do? And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put away the evil from among you, and all Yasharal shall hear and fear. Yes, they will. These are laws, and these are judgments. You have to carry them out even in the kingdom. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. If you don't put away this evil, it shall spread. This is why America is so messed up today. You're not even allowed to beat your children here in America anymore. You can go to jail. Child abuse. They tell you have to give them a timeout. Sit them in a corner. Oh, we can just take away their cell phones or their devices, right? In the kingdom, it's not going to be that way. When you have these rebellious children, these stiff-necked children, the mother and the father is required to lay hold on them and bring them into the place before the elders. Tell them exactly what he's doing. And then he is to be stoned to death by all the men of the city. Do you know of any mothers who are going to do this? Be careful. Get your mind right. You have to put the evil out from amongst you. You cannot promote evil. Evil begets evil. He who lets evil flourish in his house, evil shall not leave his house. Verse 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree. Verse 23. His body shall not remain all night upon that tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of the mighty one, that thy land be not defiled, which Yahuwah thy mighty one giveth thee for an inheritance. So as you notice, any man who is hung on a tree is cursed of the mighty one. Remember our Mashiach. He was hung on a tree. It wasn't a cross. The Bible uses the word tree. In the New Testament, you find the same word, tree. But in some places, where they use the Latin term crux, which means cross, they translated it as cross and said that your Messiah was hung on a cross. And because they have these movies that gives you these visuals, the only thing that you can see and understand is crux or cross. That is witchcraft. What is it that they're hiding? Our Mashiach made a statement. He said, what they do to me, they shall also do to you. So all of our brothers and sisters who were hung on trees throughout this 400 years in these Americas are cursed. And this is the curse of Deuteronomy chapter 28. The Jews try to come in with their lies and say that we are suffering the Hamitic curse. But we're not Hamites. We are Yasharalites. And we're suffering the Yasharalite curse. What curse is that, Brother David? Rebellion. Disobedience. Transgression of the law. And that's why we're in the place and the situation that we are in today. Continue to chapter 22. Shalom.